Lucian and Florence assured about the then names and hearing names without a bound. That is not very well known.
For a few nights, but
It is without a doubt what is there when, at the case of needed further, had been afraid of Florence. Pauses with power. Virginia Geronimo was in it. Winifred Geronimo hereby withal. Vincent Geronimo feels the absence of Mary Louise, not that it is of any importance, as her place was retained. Delight, delightful, delicacy, delicately, deliciously, delightfully, delicacy, delicacy. If they left it delicately for them to do, have it to do, delightfully, delicacy, delicate, delicately, delicious, or deliciously. Philip Geronimo, or was it as he said?
I've got to do it. What I was actually doing, I had enough. Right. I just want this as a game. And you started from scratch.
Scene 6. There are passes in a mountain, and if a tree can be used, they will put it where they are. Leave where they went. Leaves are where they are, where they went. Leaves where they went. They are beside that there is dew, and so in the evening, and so they are careful not to come too early in the morning. Scene 7. Scene 13. Of the cows, 8 are milked. Out of the cows, 8 are milked.
Who would I write today? Chicago, just where it is.
Scene 14.
Went from
Do as you do. They with their crane, leave, however, alike. Just when they denounce it, having asked them would. Collar and collars are without a parlor. It is very easy
That's
to
what they
believe.
knew was going to happen in their life. It's going to happen. In 24 hours, 17 degrees. I mean, it's one thing
Scene
on the
50.
plane, it's another thing. With some farms, you don't know.
Scene 16.
Thing.
Scene 16. Scene 16. Scene 16.
It's pretty exciting.
Scene 16. 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 We want to begin by acknowledging that we are on the traditional territory of the Anish, Inabawaki, and the Atawandarong nations. This is linked to Treaty 29, in which certain parcels of this land were ceded. The place was not consulted, as were few of the people. Subsequent indigenous nations and peoples, settlers, newcomers, folks who have been forced to relocate here through slave trades and international forced labor trades, immigrants, refugees, and displaced people have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. While acknowledging territory is important, it is only a small part of cultivating strong relationships with the First Peoples of Canada. Acknowledging territory and First Peoples should take place within the larger context of genuine and ongoing work to forge real understanding and to challenge the legacies of colonialism, and to remember the real legacies of place. What is place? It's a noun. Definition. Particular position or point in space. A portion of space, available or designated for or being used by someone. A particular point on a larger surface or in a larger object or area. A vacancy or available position. The regular or proper position of something. The role played by or importance attached to someone or something in a particular context. A locale, a location. A particular position or point in space. It's an area, an object. It's an it, is an it, is an it, is an it, is a the, is any place the place. I want to get to the place. The place that has no boundary but itself. The place with no placing, no rank. I am from a place, or places. I am from here, in this town. I am from a farm, an acreage not far from here. I am also, depending on who's asking, from a city called Toronto, or Tekaronto, depending on who's asking. All the places I'm from are in a place that's generally called Ontario, by some people, which is in a place called Canada, by a lot of people, which is on a continent called North America, by a lot of people, which is on a place called Earth by a group of people who speak one language. I'm a big fan of calling the place Terra myself, for reasons that are half sincere and half pretentious. I'm not entirely sure which half is which. Are they the same place? Or a different place? How big is a place? The exact point in space is place, as are the 1,000 million billion points within places. I invite everyone who's here to take a seat in the front row, such as it is. We are doing Archival. You won't have to do anything you don't want to do. Next, as you heard me read before, and will continue to hear me read tonight, is an account of a place that was imagined by a place whose name was Gertrude Stein. That place is called Paiseu. Or at least that's how I've understood it. The text is even more nonsensical than the way I'm talking to you right now. I like to think that it works best when you don't try and think too much about what the text is. Because in all its recurrent strangeness, it feels to me a bit like how a place might run an internal monologue, as opposed to a person. It is a monologue of a place as it remembers people. We are all responsible for the place things that are our bodies, just as our bodies are responsible for the places they inhabit. We, the people places who are helping out today, are going to do some things in this stage place. These folks are going to ask you to help them sometimes. None of it will be complicated. Consent. Consent. She is to consent. You can say yes, and you can say no. In this big place, this Terra place, this Earth place, full of people places, not everyone has the privilege of that distinction. We are exercising it tonight. You've already said yes by being here tonight, and I thank you for it. Yes is a powerful force in the world. We are all told to say yes in order to make room for the universe, and for our self-care, and for our relationships. Yes is the first step to connection. But no is very powerful as well. No is a refusal. And in a time-place where there are a lot of really awful people, places asking us to say yes and claiming it is the best thing for ourselves, universes, etc., I would like it very much if we could practice saying no, because the no is how we preserve place, whether land or body, the living no of preservation. We're going to practice saying no now.
Take your soul from me.
Do I have your permission to shave your head?
No. May I have a
Thank you.
please?
May I have your firstborn child?
No.
Thank you.
May I take your parents?
May I have all your life savings to build a giant statue of macaroni and Mickey Mouse?
No.
Thank you.
Yes.
I didn't ask
May
you.
I take your parents? You're very selective. That's right.
Good practice. The title of this piece tonight comes from another art piece, a poem, by a person named Lisa Robertson, Canadian, actually. In her book, 3 Summers, she has a line saying, "Sometimes I need a record, and sometimes I need a flower machine." A grave is a kind of flower machine. A wedding too. A garden, a gallery, a grove, a marsh, a forest. When we call things places, we make them flower machines. No record, but a placeness. Perhaps the place. Is this the place yet? Is this the place yet? Is this the place yet? Is this the Paiseu? Is this the Paiseu? Is this Paiseu? 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 Enough of that. Let's begin. Paiseu. A work of pure imagination in which no reminiscences intrude. Not Paiseu play. Arbuthnot or hollowed as constant eggs in grasp. Failure in white clouds. Arbuthnot. Geronimo. A tall infirm on account of distance and around. Germain and a child. Follow an example. Poplar, chestnut, and oak trees, and not maidenhair fern, not planted Arbuthnot. Geronimo Caesar, a plainly, fairly watered plain. Germain and her child. Father and more than a pleasant hope of celerity. An exceedingly gay cover for the having perfectly corrected with stand and presentation. To do like it. Act 1. In the beginning, in 2022, nobody counts poplars. Nobody counts poplars. Nobody counts poplars. Nobody counts poplars as counts poplars. Next. Poplars and act as at went in presently preening incoherent outline. Philip and Rain. Point in it in absently mentioning whether oppositely done without. The Rome fails. The Rome fails. Herbert is a cousin of Hildebrand William. Having not scented, seen. It is useless to know the difference between a cat and a dog because it is playful. Because it is seriously a resort by facet fastener. Bilingual means by having. Henry and Geronimo and Rachel. Fairly a calendar. Arthur is right. It is easy. Scene 2. Effective poplar having said settled. Chadbourne and Relite. How are you? Relegate. After attic. Not to be influenced. Way, whatever. Geronimo in rejoinder. It is very easy not to be accustomed to you. It pleases him because it seizes him. John Allenby in return. Which may call tolerating and refrain. Come there might does fair needless consuming our mention. Willow masses have buried soon. Leon who has tried. And a waste in means it. Garfield Arthur who has hurt a shawl. Ought other than the recipient be surprised? May imagine. Mosses are curious to the Plantagenet as a land. Germaine and her child. They go around the Rhone. This is pervade. Geronimo, we were smiled. Distant dismay is name gettable in position. Not at all. Geronimo and painted. Germaine and her child with alive, although a couple of whether it is as smart as Martha the Confident and Martha, but please do not remember. At doobie at all. Cut leather that is not bound. Cut leather which is not bound. Dovetail, cut leather. Susan and honor. An oxen is 1 out of 2 with a widow land in collusion. Indicative indent. Neither in winter nor summer. Never take never, it is too far in. Geronimo invited. How do you do maybe? The sun which is covered. Our rose. Scene 3. Gregory Alice photographed in earrings. Ideally what? Better have a cake and water. A cake and water in pair of Gertrude Geronimo. Advise a gardener for maple trees. Disuse it in between. Did indeed Twitter color collaboration. Ernestine Fabrini have counted what it cost. And Jenny Lane have knelt. Rudolph Geronimo is never mistaken. Edna Mencken teases in private, likely come to be too curly. It is never to be safe to see that. It is never to be safe to see that. A race of land lent who's to indulge who and Raymond Hughes. Geronimo makes a middle. In will, a shanty. A little obliged. Narrow, nearly Nancy a farmer and a lieutenant's wife. The lieutenant who has made a place for them. Call Caesarion an obligation. It is unavoidable will. Geronimo make marshes with partly a day. Thaddeus Henry has been appointed a head. Never to remember or a crane. Ethel and Mary have a shrine. They like their relying, it made in half lakes. They go convinced. Windows and removed all loops. A banister may be best with groundwork. Mary Louise, and to be sure. Mary Louise met a wedding and was entitled to an estimation, by the way. James had been hours in the beneath their changing. Does denial make a rendition of Trulia better than allow? Geronimo has all patience here. 2 appointments which are kept, they only use a name to call if they change. Mary and Louise. It is a day in perusal. How are ours able to discharge, gain, and sustain, blaming aroused, left hand folded in streams? Streams are broken out. Geronimo is curiously careless. Hurried after is afraid for a marsh willow. Missing light when they are trying this encounter right. Geronimo felt the need of support. Eldridge Godfrey, as if he was dead. Bedroom and his cousin. Astonishing to find whose son where Satchel is. Maybe they wish and watch without in some angle fastened by their closing in an hour which is unsatisfactory, to be actively duly laid and absolved from adapting, left as a rope for them. Mary Augustine France Paris. Reminiscences are trafficked in being ranging by their partly after partly laying and joining their division. Imagine her saying anything. Scene between Geronimo and the division between, with winding and gaining and very well and planting and end planting their careful women. It is so much to have brain winnowed by the fan. He replies, you are a realist, and you live in the imagined lives in them. He said, you make it clear that tenderly as you adore me, you do not care for the kind of women who resemble me. You think very badly of them. And so in all, because of course I have no prospect of proposing that request of being joined there. She said, if they went there and they came back, who then would have their money back? Matter of fact is that there is a blue sky of different colors. A blue sky of different colors. Seen in preciseness. Whole button come can couple with all division and antics of required layman due. Germaine and her child. Germaine and her child. Very pretty if older. No need to, no need to, no need to, no need to. Thank you. Germaine and her child made it all that they did. Scene 4. He had, after all, 50 names to his credit. He thought of half of them and maybe made a mistake. This may be why they did double trouble to deny Geronimo and Count. It is the difference between very quickly and very quickly. Go back, come back. Hot, but withered for the land, he inside of colored grains with green, it burned with green. Lame Gerald Geronimo comes rather as well, nearly with having no need to thank severally as they bring cakes. Gerald Geronimo cut to money. Robert Widow named the general. Charles Partner, come for me. Powell Poplar to be encased with a merriment's marsh. They found a fair, they do this too. Scene in which Geronimo visits Germaine and her child and they laugh about it. Mary Auguste France Paris makes it a duty to be seen and to be sure to do about it, make it plain. That way a distance in a marsh. There's no distance in a dry marsh. Germaine makes it in his way if he likes thirds. He has called it and speak as if whenever they are having it come there. Never eat, never eat, never eat. Gerald Geronimo can be mistaken for someone else. Scene 5. Geronimo and Kate Sebastien. To Belle, welcome. They may be a dainty into 2 field made mention. Double hours. Widows widowed with recommended dahlias and thousands with horse. Geronimo meets Mr. Jenny. He has it. Geronimo very well, and thank you, her recollection. Double doubt and double box. Powers withheld. Windowed without a marsh meadow, and place pleases independence of all in all, that much so that when inculcated are remained of personal resist most. They can be not said to mean everything. Having passed all that time without knowing their nay, it is not necessary to be called to be. The little boy brings grapes on a plate. Scene 6. Alice and Helen who is supposedly simply sacredly to time, timed in their care. Geronimo has need of regain relief around this in contribution. Who can think things? 1 or 2, with the sun sets behind a cloud, does it set? echo in echo. Need there be in when in courses as if a waterfall was in a hole. Never leave two marshes, marshes at in all. Thanks for it has in kept call. Remember a marsh by the willow. A very big marsh with very little ones would be 1, 2, 3 all out but she. Working without seeing is better than at maintaining their matter of fact in a tree, thrifty, homing, and at a time, Geronimo has patiently been settled where it is no matter of course, like lines, fascinated like lines, Joseph Geronimo may know the names and the days and the ferns of it is I then. Up went and calling this used to be made with it very much, went with there and there, having back again with it laid for that which shall carry, they can couple around it indeterminable, during done with what by there, same as it. Same as it near which followed call. Allow lane condense thought. Joseph Geronimo fell and was very much hurt. He had a stick in his hand, but he did not fall on it. He was happily very well able to go fancy that it was his turn. Write about it, Father, and very cake without part joining and partly with all lane, the showing of those whenever it reminded and points to all. Do be exhausted too. Mary rose and be called Mary. Mary rose after all. It is partly why a balustrade is made of their roughness, is made of their need through absolutely counseling. Balustrade is made of iron, of wood, of cement, wild marble of lead. We think of their eating. 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 Scene 8. It is for them. It is for them. It is for them all. Scene 9. Marsh and marshes. A marsh of great extent, and marshes, they when dry are needed as being left to dry, not as fodder, but as bedding. They are reliable as often as ever. Act 2. Factor boil water. Geronimo and Endless. Why in, why high in. Comes and sent the seed. Pass to them literally. Arthur Geronimo lends them a house and they see that it is so. Edward Sebastien has pairs of oxen on a train to use side by side either side. With whenever window. Widow with more said Sebastian. Arthur Geronimo loves to think it is so, even without theirs. It is a difficulty to do it rapidly. There are no actions without a fire outdoors. Leave it to me. Try, arrive, or how our hard and well-fitted calls proclaiming and moving to discover on much land here. Cut pay much before which name jointing or make part and partly in substance do knit and do sit and do sow. Oh, there had double come to be whatever after this lack of custom. It is called the tunnel in a wall. Any hour of these within abundance, never having seen, heard of their parents. She was a girl who was tall, they made a stain, made with a point. Laughter in, rendered with a round, it was a disappointment. Having left the sand, she did not want ever to see it again from that side. Weak ways of clouds, always arranged. Arthur and Renee, Harry and Rennie Geronimo. We are pleased that you are pleased with marshes, and doves name respected mountains, and pigeons name happily their mountains. Arthur and Renee Geronimo. Horace said is never bound to be all, never bound to be all that she is called to their being known is seldom secret. Without eyes, never look around and see. For then, when they in an eye, they call replenish. Having promised not to have, fortunately, a completion of remarkable aim to be shown there in their resistance, can a horse be led by a change with different? Never remember, of course. A widowed horse is strange in their entering, with, without, does, and display they can carry it in maintenance by liking for their fairly well doings and fine. No temptation to be very whispered and requited. There is no difference. The sweet William. Cry and mine are there are as many. How is the house been here? Here is the house, once and more, coupled with plains. How our home was routed at it made to fasten it and make stairs. Never having seen anyone step and have all the amount which counts it is with them and it remains. It is not remained vain. There are wide where they are decently make further as in countries. It is wetter in the marsh than they were then. And no one has to be away to go, Geronimo. Scene 2. It is very wise to have a tree surrounded by seats made by hands and pieces. Tree is only left, but theirs not theirs most. They have now 6 seats, 10 seats. Only one has been and they wait. This has started, as in the winter. They are followed without farther. Geronimo is made aloud. Alfred and Edith Ferdinand and Gustav Geronimo in sequence. To these she is to be disappointed or dismantled with names. No one is afraid of cows, followed by goats or with cement. Never will see, never will see, never will see, around there exactly, without their house, hurry without their house. In an interval in veiling, they're maintained and climbed as manipulation following being made about covertly rather than with embroideries. Geronimo, the embroideries. You'll cut grass, leave a trace, the will on the air. Welcome how after as many hours of interval it is made permanently withstood. Never mean the name. William Geronimo has plenty of time. Ages will vary very well. Focus of ages that will vary very well. Very Geronimo tells that it is point. Around about there, with very unusual model like that, minor obstacles would be, and his virtues of one renowned lady in perfect Chicago. Joseph Geronimo was ours today. The whole return is what they said if they did. Like very many meadows, they were never better, they never better. It's that mean about the pride and capacity. Germain and her daughter was very nearly will it come to this marshes, used were used to it well, will went where to make it used to where were used to where went to it. Germain has been selected as arrival of marshes. Joseph Geronimo can always change his name. Needed be some wherein on our account. Arthur Constance sharpened the name. Arthur France Geronimo is curtailed in his preparation in advance where they were of their account within August. Act 3. Howard Geronimo is heard, and the marshes but more birds. If 3 are 82, then 4 are 49. Henry Geronimo speaks without reading. We have not hindered Alice Geronimo speak. Cups of Christy and Rudolph Geronimo, weighted distances, blackberries are called walls, right. Let but have been their hair without their allowance. What is the difference between interruption? Brilliant with an abundant out of door even. There is black, which is the same as black. Germain and her daughter love to be a cradle. In felt the same without their wants as company leaving out that, having her a soul and decisive of it, satisfactory left to their larger moving from with it. They have come back again, from here to here. Geronimo let having fairly more at once. Geronimo has known something. 8 cows are stopped from proceeding. Who prefers walks to marshes? Little clouds to St. Francis. Arthur to Evelyn. Scene 2, they were wistful. It is that she has stated while they were ready now. Integrally read ready now. But in the niece which made reference about mountain and so, next, weakness, alarm, ivy on fire, with unprotected glass, no observation but observation. Rosella Geronimo is away, everybody in waiting. Felicity Stone is hearing at one with their being what they have as they like. Felicity Geronimo has learned that has made by hand the embroiderers, the marshes, the mountain, the partly owned vineyard and with it. Fred Geronimo is awfully glad it was possible. Must know the difference between bowing and not. Arthur France Geronimo is the son of a widow, considered a murder. Mildred do not have it all in the wild. Put scene 3. If you have it, take it. The widow's prize is blessed beside. If you have king letter, you must let it be considered meant to consider. It does help. Charles Garfield sings. Well now, Charles Geronimo is covered by their being confident. It is an amount. Herbert quickly, it's quite very likely, but not I have been to become the sign of obligation. And further this girl, why do you like to be very comfortably here? Very made in vain. Arthur Geronimo prays a word of love. A fog is a rain, and grapes are valuable. Geronimo had hoped to be like it where it would be called fairly with pleasure. Arthur Geronimo takes articles. Marshes are made late, they are made with edges and bleeds. The only thing that is that which is 2 trains. Be likely with very many preparers. Arthur Geronimo and Ellen had met Camille, scene 10. After Albert had happened, it might be that they were their own, that wideness, a banner of included the while. Harriet, Howard, Hilda, Freeman, Geronimo, and pronouncements, one more at the same time. 2 and 2 in fancy. Scene 11. There are hours of excitement and need of whatever. Camille Geronimo, in order to go and do so, so the interview. Scene 12. Esther Henry scene. Benjamin Geronimo scene. Nothing to be about it matter. Back to Geronimo. Not how often. Once they asked who it was, then what was it then? Once then they asked Geronimo Renault. Edith and Francis Geronimo made a tweak this form. And over there, and then we go change the search, putting there and just adding a race. It is nothing watching that happen, you know. Smoke does not always mean it's rain. There is no difference between a shadow and sweating. William Geronimo Briggs mentioned it. Arms up and on Geronimo walls. Why do they say that? Did they not like Walmart? Because they've never said it's night. Scene 13, Helen and Esther Geronimo were after having been in, and the distance is light, because marshes are not between you. Alice Geronimo presents delicacies and admiration to the face. Scene 14, Catherine Hardy, Virginia Geronimo, and Elizabeth marshes. Catherine Hardy and Virginia Geronimo were noted in marshes. Catherine Hardy and Virginia Geronimo were noted in the adventure when she used her time crops and different phrase. Geronimo used her unique cloud every two failures related to the back of the used one to act on and measuring digital was better than class. Geronimo received after not all Geronimo remained in her trial line and remained in her trial line and scene 5 Geronimo scene 8 scene 5 Geronimo there is no difference with St. William. Cry in my mind, are there are many. How is the house being here in the house once and more? Coupled with flames, how are over with rather than added fascinating state there is for them. Never have seen anyone who best have it all in the mouth and counting that these with them to blame. It is not remain doors. We are a while aware that indecently make forward. It is weather, not at all. It's not at all. Seeing trees made in a single winter. What is it? What is it? What is it? Getting made in a single native, but it is all fairly. Into it all fairly. Scene 8, scene 9. Don't raise it all the way without the thing falling over the weather. Talking about the weather. Scene of 12. The first two and then the learning about the cloud. Change something.
Say something.
Change something.
Seems to keep getting destroyed. Twisted soul is new when you need him. Dig the holes, it's you again, it's you again. Somewhere, someone must know the ending. Is she still pissing in the river now? Had she gone, moved into a trailer park?
Say something.
Change something.
A pen. Oh.
It's an it, is an it, is an it, is an it, is an it. Is a bees. Is any place the place? I want to get to the place. That place that has no boundary but itself. That place with no placing, no rank. Are they the same place? Or a different one? How big is a place? This exact point in space is place, as are the 1,000, million, billion points within places. This is an art thing, about an imagined place thing's memories and a real place thing with a number of real people in it. The people things aren't sitting here and standing here with me, or I'm with them, or we aren't a number of people things, but one people thing made up of a host of place things called bodies. We are responsible for the place things that are our bodies, just as our bodies are responsible for the places they inhabit. We, the people, places who are helping out today, are going to do some things in this stage place. They're going to ask for your help sometimes. None of it will be complicated. Would you help Sebastien?
Sometimes I need a record. And sometimes I need a flower machine. A grave is a kind of flower machine. A garden, a gallery, a grove, a marsh, a forest. When we call things places, we make them flower machines. No record, but a place next. Would you help?
Perhaps the place. Is this the place yet? Is this the place yet? Is this the place yet? Is this the Paiseu? Is this the Paiseu? Is this Paiseu? Is this Paiseu? 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 What is place? It's a noun. Definitions. Particular position or point in space. A portion of space available or designated for or being used by someone. A particular point on a larger surface or in a larger object or area. Did you read?
What is place? A noun. Definition, a particular position or point in space. A portion of space available or designated for or being used by someone. A particular point on a larger surface or in a larger object or area. A vacancy or available position. The regular or proper position of something. The role played by or importance attached to someone or something in a particular context. A locale, a location, a particular position or point in space. Yeah? Yeah. Alrighty.
This is an art thing about an imagined place, things, memories, and a real place thing with a number of people things in it. The people things are sitting here, standing here with me, or I am with them. And we aren't a number of people things, but one people thing made up of a host of place things called bodies. We are all responsible for the place things that are our bodies, just as our bodies are responsible for the places they inhabit. We, the people places who are helping me out today, are going to do some things in this stage place. They're going to ask for your help sometimes. None of it will be complicated. Sometimes I see a record, and sometimes I need a flower machine. A grave is a kind of flower machine. A garden, a gallery, a grove, a marsh, a forest. When we call things places, we make them flower machines. No record, but a place. Perhaps the place. Is this the place yet? Is this the place yet? Is this the place yet? Is this the Paiseu? Is this Paiseu. Paiseu.
Thank you, everyone.